Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Firstly, I just want to thank you guys, for choosing 5-star Umrah. And, some of you, we chose you because you won your Umrah trip and a giveaway or so on and so forth. But alhamdulillah, I hope that, inshallah, everyone feels that they got their money's worth, or even if those of you who got free trips, feel like you had an experience that matched up to your expectations, if not exceeded it. And likewise for your mahrams. And I want to thank you guys as well, because it's so strange. I was just talking to the brothers earlier as well, like there haven't been any issues on this trip whatsoever, and it's so unusual. Like even from the brothers trip, there's always some sort of conflict or some sort of, not necessarily conflict, but as in there's issues, problems happen, it's natural. When you've got 50 people, complete strangers in a room, it's normal for clashes to happen, personality clashes or whatever it is. And unless the group leaders haven't been telling us, as far as I know, there have been no issues whatsoever. This has been one of the best, if not the best trips that we've ever done. That includes both brothers trips and sisters trips. So for that, I really just want to thank you guys. You made our job very, very easy, alhamdulillah. I remember about 2 years ago, roughly around about this time, it might have been 2 years ago exactly to this day, I'm not sure, but towards the end of October, I remember I got a text from one of my friends. He's my friend from Jahiliyyah, and I was very close with him even once I started practicing. He was someone who respected it, mashallah, even he would try every now and again, but he was still caught up on the roads and in the dunya. And I remember he texted me, and I remember exactly where I was. I was pulling into a car park for a new job. I was doing some training. And he texted me and he said, yo, Ak, he said, make dua for my mum. She's in hospital. And it took me by surprise. I was like, I messaged him and asked him why, what's happened? Tell me, man. What? And he said that she'd been vomiting non-stop, and that the doctors in the hospital had said that she could have cancer. So I messaged him, I said, look, I'm just about to start my training for today. I'm going to call you as soon as I finish, and then, we can talk about it more. So I finished my training that day, and I tried to call him, but I think his phone died. So then later that night, I was sleeping about 2 a.m. He must have messaged me back, and he was telling me, that it's gotten a lot worse, and that his mom, she wasn't even recognizing him. She couldn't recognize him. She couldn't recognize his face. So I said to him, no problem, inshallah. I said to him, the Quran is a shifa. People think that ruqya is only for spiritual issues. Wallahi, that's a lie. That's not true. That's not true at all. It's a complete misconception. The Quran is a shifa for anything and everything, any illness, any illness, whether it's cancer. We've seen people with cancer, the cancer is improving. I know people who are alive today with serious cancer, and you wouldn't even be able to tell because they do ruqya themselves constantly, regularly. So we set it up, and I tried my best to go as much as I could, pretty much almost every day. Sometimes, I'd get him around to come down as well, Saad. And alhamdulillah, slowly she was getting a little bit better. She could speak again. She was, quite normal. In that time, her family had come down because according to the doctors, she was in the last stages. That's it. She should already be dead by now. But literally 3-4 weeks went by. Alhamdulillah, she's still there. Her family from America came down. Her mother, her brothers, and I got really close with the family. I got to know them very well. And that boy of mine, I got very close to him during that period as well. And during this time, as I mentioned, I was doing training for a job, so I didn't really get a chance to link the brothers much. I was very, very busy. I was away from classes, from the brothers in general. And I remember one day, it was a Friday, it was Jum'ah, and Imran said to me, let's go out for a munch. We wanted to go out to some place, I think it was somewhere near central London. Quite a few brothers were together. We went out for a munch, and I think we were making plans for dessert. And that was the one day where I was like, cool, you know what? I've been going here every day with him. I'm gonna take a day, I'm gonna, be with the brothers, inshallah. And then I'll go later on. And I remember while I was with the brothers, we were about to go for dessert. My friend called me, and when I picked up the phone, he just said to me, he said, she's gone. He said, she's gone, and he was crying on the phone. And I said to him, what happened? He said, look, we went for Friday prayers, Jummah, in the hospital, and we came back and she was gone. So I was personally very upset because I felt like by not being there, I kind of let him down. But I made my way there. I went to the hospital, and just as I was about to turn into the hospital, he called me. He said that they're at home now. The family's gone home. Everyone's gone home. No one's at the hospital. So I went to his house, and it's not easy seeing a family break down like that. It's not easy seeing a family break down like that, especially if a really good friend of yours. I can't explain to you. He was broken. That's all I can say is that he was broken. I gave him a hug and I kissed him on the head and I said, there's a good side to it, You got a chance to say goodbye. You've spent the last 2 months with your mother. Many people, they don't get that chance. Allah gave you that chance. Just before that, he'd got a job. And when his mum ended up in hospital, he left the job. He didn't care about the job, he left the job. He spent every single day with her, taking care of her, making sure she had everything she needed. Allah gave him another chance. And when I said that to him, I remembered how Allah gave me another chance with my mum. You see, I don't know if any of you grew up in single parent households, but my mum raised me as a single child, and as a single parent, it was just me and her growing up. And wallahi, she did everything for me. We used to live in a council house, 1-bedroom flat. Before that, being a little motel in one room, just me and her. Shared a communal bathroom, communal everything. But she never made me feel like I was missing anything. And when we finally moved into this little 1-bedroom flat, the little council house, I felt like we had everything. Alhamdulillah. Even when all of our relatives would come down to London, they'd always want to stay at our house. We had family members with huge houses, 4, 5, 6-bedroom houses. But everyone wanted to stay at our house because that's the kind of person my mum was. It's not about the size of your house; it's about the size of your heart. She had a very, very big heart. And then, as I got older, what did I do for her in return? I used to disrespect her, raise my voice at her. My mom got remarried and I had a stepdad, and I made life very, very difficult for everyone in the house. There would be times, late night when I was going out, my mom would beg me not to go. She literally should be pleading with me. Look, Naja, why are you going? You know it's going to cause problems in the house. You know your stepdad's going to get angry. Don't go. I used to just push her away. I used to go out, I used to leave her there crying. And I'd come home 5, 6 a.m. and she'd be there on the masala still crying. When I was 17, I got into an argument with my stepdad. And I did something stupid. I tried to do something stupid. Alhamdulillah, Allah prevented it from happening. But I tried to do something stupid and it led to me getting kicked out. And I remember that night I was so angry. I was angry with him and I was angry with my mum as well because I felt like she'd unfairly taken his side. And I remember the last words that I said to her that day was, "You're not my mum." I told her that I hated her and that I wasn't her son and that she was dead to me. And I think, imagine if Allah had taken her life at that moment or taken my life at that moment. And imagine if those were the last words that I said to my mum. But Allah gave me another chance. Even during that time, I didn't really speak to her, didn't really, for a month or so, I was still very angry with her. After things settled down, I'd go and visit her every now and again. And she would always tell me a story. She used to tell me the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and how he was separated from his family. And how Allah raised his ranks and returned him to his parents. She said, "Inshallah, one day Allah will return you to me." the way Allah returned Yusuf alayhi salam to his father. Wallahi, sisters, don't think that you're not able to change. Don't think that you're not able to change. Wallahi, I sincerely believe if I was able to change, anyone can change. And please give a lot of value to your mothers. Give a lot of value to your mothers. Sometimes they can say things that you don't want to do. Sometimes you can find them a bit annoying. Just take it. Don't talk back to them. Don't be rude to them. Let nothing but good come out your mouth towards them. Because one day they're not going to be here. The other night, my mom asked Sheikh Asim, what did she ask me? She said, what needs can I do for my mother because she's passed away? And I thought to myself, alhamdulillah, I'm not here asking that question. Because I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. And now Allah's blessed me, He allowed me to bring my family, my mom, my sisters to Umrah. And I could never have imagined that, ever in a million years, I would never have imagined that would ever happen. But alhamdulillah, Allah facilitated it. And I'm so grateful to Him for that. I'm going to leave you guys with just a little benefit, inshallah. I remember when I first started spending time with the brothers, I was always trying my best to help out as much as I could. I actually started off just doing the register for the classes and started off helping out with the finances and doing spreadsheets and giving lifts to brothers up, down, left, right, West London, North London, everywhere. Picking up books from bookstores and dropping them off. And I remember one time I was in the car with Ustad Abdul Rahman Hassan and I was dropping him home. I think we were coming back from Birmingham or somewhere, and he looked at me and he said to me, may Allah reward you for all you do for the brothers of Abu Bakr. I said, no, I said, no problem, I don't mind it, I'm the kind of guy like I like to help people kind of thing. And he said to me, there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this has always stuck with me. And I even told him, this is one thing that I try and live my life by. He said that the most beloved of people to Allah is the one who's beneficial to the people. And the most beloved deed to Allah is the one that makes a Muslim happy or removes his troubles. And this really, really stuck with me. And this is one of the reasons why we do these Umrah trips, one of the reasons why we do so many projects to try and help people, whether it be brothers or sisters. And wallahi, it's not easy. It's not easy. You guys think, some people think this is easy. Wallahi, it's not easy. Do you know how much effort and planning, time goes into this? Sometimes you have to sacrifice your own money, your own time, your family, your friends. Something even my mom, she gets upset with me sometimes because, I won't message her for a few days because I'm just busy. I tell him, I need to leave at 6 p.m. on the dot. He gets upset with me. I tell my mom, no, Mom, so I can't come. She gets, and it's difficult to try and juggle everything. You've got so many brothers that need help. And it's like you can't help every single person. But still we put our time and our effort into this. And you know what really, really hurts? When you put your time and your effort and everything into an individual, into people, and they just throw it back in your face. Go back to their ways. Allah is going to test you, sisters. When you go back, Allah is going to test you. Now that you've tasted this sweetness, now that you've tasted this iman, Allah is going to test you even harder. Shaitan is going to try and come to you and misguide you even more. He's going to test you with your friends. He's going to test you with your family. He's going to test you in ways you would not even ever imagined. I'll give you an example. There was one brother, he came on our first ever Umrah with the Mandem trip. And literally a month after that, he ended up in prison for something that he did while he was in Jahiliyyah. So he just started practicing. Came Umrah with us, and it's something that he had done in the past caught up with him. And he spent a year in prison. And that was a test. Of course, the brothers, we used to visit him, speak to him, and it's not easy. It's very, very difficult. And Allah tested him like that. And alhamdulillah, he came out earlier this year. About a month after he came out, another brother ended up in jail. Good brother. Very good brother. And now Allah's testing him. You know, even though he's about 6 months older than me, I've always seen him like my little brother, you know. He came on the first Umrah trip with us. He's a very, very good brother. And Allah's testing him right now. Allah's testing his family. And I ask that you make dua for him and you make dua for his family. You know, Allah tests those He loves the most, He tests them the most. And I have yaqeen, I have certainty that Allah loves him. Because if Allah loves a person, He makes the people love him. And there's so many people that love him. There's so many people that love him. The last thing I'm going to say to you guys, inshallah, similar to the advice that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu gave the Sahaba after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For those of you who worship Mecca and Medina, know that you're going to leave these places. And one day these places are going to come to an end. They won't be here anymore. For those of you who worship Allah, know that Allah will never die. And He is alive. He will be there forever. So if you're connecting your iman, if you connect your worship and your striving to these places, you're going to leave. And your iman is going to leave. Just like that. For those of you who worship Allah, you know, doing these deeds for Allah, Allah will never leave. عندي إن شاء الله سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
I just want to say one thing. Actually, two things. It's not really like that. It's just that, firstly, these Umrah trips, honestly, it wouldn't be it's something that Abu Bakr said that got to me, to be honest. Is that these Umrah trips, if it wasn't for people like Abu Bakr and the other brothers, it wouldn't be the same, to be honest. Like, the amount of work that the brother puts in, specifically I'm talking about Abu Bakr for a reason, is a lot. Like, in the first Umrah trip, he tried to give me 1/8 of his job. He tried to give me 1/8 of his job. I couldn't do it. So they know my job now. My job isn't that job anymore. Even 1/8 of that, I couldn't do it. So the reason why I'm saying that is not to praise Abu Bakr, honestly, it's not. But it's for his mother, to be honest. Because me, it's like my mom does the same thing sometimes. We're out a lot, and my mom's like, "Why are you always out too much?" and things like that. And I try to go home early. We try, but I want to say to Abu Bakr's mother is that, wallahi, he's doing a lot of khair. He's doing a lot of good when he's outside. You know, those times that he's out, he's not just. Inshallah ta'ala, you'll see it on the Day of Judgment. Abu Bakr will see it for his mother as well, inshallah, on the Day of Judgment. Inshallah. So I just want to inshallah, put happiness in her heart, inshallah ta'ala. He's doing a lot, wallahi, he's doing a lot. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him Jannah for it, and to give his mother Jannah as well, and all his family.
Can I say?
Yes.
But I want to say, like, I had a difficult time, but in that time I made easy Quran. I was going Quran class 2 days in a week. Whatever happened during the day, I got answers from Quran. So I was so surprised. Whatever it was my situation, and Allah is telling me, you have to do this, you have to do this. All the instructions were coming, and then do this dua. And in our class we were learning morning adkar, evening adkar, protection dua, this dua, that dua. And that helped so much. So I really want you to have to learn Quran. Your life will be so easier, inshallah. And Jazakallah. And every night before I sleep, I do dua for all of them. These all the boys, I give them in protection of Allah. And dua, evening dua, morning dua, and istighfar. These are the best medicine, you can say medicine. You will never ever go in depression, stress, or anything. So please, there are many online courses, and I'm really so surprised with these girls. Sometimes I get so depressed when I see people are spending money on weddings and parlors. Alhamdulillah, my depressed is became in happiness. These are so many good people, alhamdulillah. Good mothers of future, inshallah. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you all.
It's so true. I remember Salah was telling you on the last trip, you mentioned, Allah, you don't know, it might be because of the da'ah of your parents that Allah changed the situation. The reason why Allah allowed you to be here is, the da'ah of your parents. So Allah, I sincerely, genuinely believe I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the da'ah of my mother. There's so many times in life, times where, I got arrested, I thought, I'm going to get a criminal record, I'm sitting in the police, I think this is it, game over. But I think I've even told her that Allah had picked out. But it was literally like, I thought, that's it, man, that's over. And then they came and said, no, all charges have been dropped. Just so many different situations where things were happening, and I was like, this is it. That's it now, that's it, I'm done now. But alhamdulillah, somehow, somewhere, Allah always found it. The thing is, we don't see it as signs. In the moment, we're like, yeah, other police officer. As soon as the help comes, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm a big man, yeah, Master is up, that's the case. So that we attribute it to ourselves. In the moment, it's yeah, Allah please, ya Allah please. As soon as it's done, it's yeah, I'm the big man, I did it. They don't be from those who are ungrateful. Be those who, in the good times and the bad times, you always remember Allah. And I ask that whenever you go back, if you have a moment of weak iman or anything like that, just always remember this night and make a promise to yourself. Whenever you have a moment of weak iman, you feel like you're going to slip up or you're going to do the same or something like that, just remember this night. Remember, I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to everyone around me that I would change and that I wouldn't go back to the things that I was going back to.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to take you to the Day of Judgment. I want you to imagine yourself opening your book of deeds and getting disappointed as you scroll over the pages, realizing that there's not a lot here. In fact, as you turn over the pages, you see there's quite a bit of sin. And the good deeds don't really match up to what they should have. But suddenly as you turn over the pages, you start to see all of these good deeds, like memorizing Quran, seeking knowledge, praying the night prayer. But you're thinking to yourself, hold up, I never memorized the Quran. I didn't used to do all of these extra deeds, like pray the night prayer on a consistent basis. How is it in my book of deeds when I never personally did it? And then it becomes clear to you that this is in your book of deeds because there was a person who you helped to guide towards al-Islam. And when they came to Islam and changed their life, you now received all of the good that they did, even though you didn't personally do it yourself. As you know, الدال إلى الخير كفاعله. The one who guides someone to do good will have the reward of that good the way the person who did it, even if you yourself didn't do it. And this is why it's so important, brothers and sisters, for us to support people when it comes to helping change their life. Now, as you know, this is the work that me and my team are involved in. With the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, we've been changing people's lives for the last few years. And we've got many projects from Madina Masjid to Knowledge College. But the one project that we've seen that's changed people's life above and beyond anything else that we've seen with Allah's permission is our Umrah trips. We take people who are literally off the streets, involved in drugs, violence, just come out of prison, soon maybe possibly go into prison, all different backgrounds. We take them on these Umrah trips, and there Allah Azza wa Jal transforms their hearts, puts light inside of them, and they come back reformed men. An example of one such brother who we took, he actually came back, and within one space of a year, he took 70 people from his area, from the streets into the masjid. Some of them came onto Deen hard, some of them not as much as others, but he impacted his local community. And he himself has now gone on to seek knowledge, memorize Quran, learn the Arabic language, and he's actively involved in khair. Now this brother wasn't able to fund his whole package. He was funded for by someone generous, someone like you. And they probably had no idea that they were going to pay for this brother's ticket, that he was going to be impacted so much on the trip that when he came back, he was going to help get 70 people from his area into the masjid from the streets. Now imagine that person who gave money for that trip, what reward they're going to see on the Day of Judgment. And these are the brothers who are in most need because they can't afford the trip themselves, either they don't have the money or their money is haram, but they want to change. Do you want the reward for them changing? If so, then go to the link below because we have to fundraise for 10 of them in the next 7 days. We have to fundraise for 10 of them in the next 7 days. Someone's definitely going to give that money, inshallah, and take that reward. Is it going to be you? That's the question. And inshallah, you'll see that reward in the Day of Judgment. So I advise you, for the sake of Allah, go to the link below, say Bismillah, donate whatever you can. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.